I'll be honest, you do look a little bit like fuzzy. It's sort of like
Yeah, no, we are awake since 6, but I'm
awake
just
since
doing.
6. Jesus, okay.
Yeah, it was a short night somehow. My son is I don't know, summer flu, I guess, but that's how it is.
Every single time we catch up or you would hop on the Monday meeting, it would be my son has this, my daughter has this, my wife has this, I have this. So
Yeah,
you guys
it's
are
going around. Yeah, we have because my problem is right now. Are you recording, by the way,
yeah.
already?
Welcome back to the
Okay.
podcast. It's been a while, but we're back. Here we go. Let's do it. I always kind of
Yeah.
sneakily record it, so we'll see how quickly we
Ah,
can
okay,
get
very
back
good.
into it.
No, but I have a little problem because my wife will ring. I don't know when, but because we have now
Head lice.
Fleur.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the kids.
Disgusting.
So we don't know who got it, but both of them have them since when today is Friday, right? Yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So
Okay.
and yeah, and now my wife is getting because we've been yesterday at my parents and no on Tuesday at my parents and now we are try to get rid of this. How do you say them?
Head lice. So lice is like lice. It's like a little bug
Ah,
insect
lice. Okay,
type
yeah,
thing, and head
yeah.
lice. Yeah.
Okay, okay, and yes, this is what we're fighting right now too. So and she will ring, and because she has to work, and it's yeah, it's crazy. It's
Okay.
yeah,
Very
we could have
fun.
had easier times. Put it this way.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a very different balance. I think when we started this podcast, you were wearing jumpers and I was wearing t-shirts. Now I'm wearing jumpers and you're wearing t-shirts.
Nothing.
Nothing. It feels like that in Europe sometimes, especially in Madrid and Barcelona. Those are hot, hot, hot places.
Yeah,
I should explain.
absolutely.
The reason we have had a bit of a hiatus on the podcast is because after I finished up my studies, I was like, screw Australia. I still have time left on my visa in Germany. Let's just go to Europe. And I told my friend Max, hey, like, when do you have any free time? He's studying medicine, he's very busy. And he goes, yes, I've got 2 weeks. I'm like, great. From when you finish class, we'll go straight to the airport. And then as soon as he'll land, the plane will land, and then the taxi straight to class. And that's basically as long as we were away for. I actually stayed over a little bit longer. My parents were overseas in Venice, Barcelona, and Madrid, so I caught up with them. But all in all, Greece, Krakow, Berlin, Venice, Barcelona, Madrid. It was pretty epic. I conquered more countries than Napoleon,
Yeah, perfect.
and we caught up.
That's, yes, definitely. And we got drunk during the day.
I know, right? That's my favorite part about European summer: day drinking, bottles of wine, all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. And you this time on your travel, have you been to Paris or France at all?
I've been to Paris before in 2018 after I graduated high school. I went
Yeah.
to Paris briefly, and the French are always rioting and complaining and that sort of stuff. We're not going to get into it. We're not that type of podcast, but the reason they were rioting was because they put like a tax on fuel and petrol, and this really screwed over the working class. And so the Champs-Élysées was completely shut off. Here's a really big difference between Europe and Australia. You will never see in Australia police with automatic rifles just holstered and carried around. In fact, you'll rarely ever see an automatic rifle at all.
Okay.
And it's in France when I was there during the riots, there were heaps and heaps and heaps of police, all of them with massive rifles, mustard gas, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so,
And they drink.
carry on. Sorry.
Well, I got to Paris because I just wanted to mention that you can in Paris you can start drinking red wine at 11 a.m. That's absolutely okay.
Yeah.
So it's even more in Germany. We start drinking around like lunchtime. So
When
one-ish,
is
1 o'clock.
lunchtime in Germany? Because I thought with our workplace we had lunch at around German lunchtime, but turns out that was wrong. So when is German lunchtime?
Between 12 and 2.
Okay, similar to Australia. So
Yeah,
yeah.
something like this. This is lunchtime-ish, and yeah, for the most people, it's like 12 to 2, and then sometimes in the old days we had from 12 till 3. It was kind of you had to be quiet a little bit too. Kids were not allowed to play in the backyards between
Right.
12 and 3 p.m. and
Bit of
afterwards.
bit
And
of a siesta.
yes, a little bit of a siesta, the German ones. But we are just watching. We are sitting on the window and we are watching people, and then we are yelling at them.
What's there to
The
watch?
Spaniard,
Gray skies and cold weather and a bit of snow.
exactly. But the Spanish people, they close their curtains and the Italians, so they can't even look out.
I know,
So
right?
they always go to sleep. No, I'm just kidding. It's just
Um,
yeah.
yeah, no. The lunch was good. We drank a lot of red wine, and Jan saw some people he worked with decades prior who he didn't really want to see, and one of them came up and said hi, and then Max and I were just sitting there like, "Hi, sir."
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna be
was kind
honest.
of
Yeah, I've never seen someone with that jet black dyed hair. I think Steven Seagal better call up this dude's barber
yeah.
because this was jet black. I keep interrupting you. We haven't done this in a while. I've got to be a bit more patient. Sorry.
Exactly, yeah, but no problem. We shall have a topic, right? This time, don't we have something? Because I don't know when I have to jump and get the bell and help my wife.
Okay.
So this can happen anytime.
You can ask me as many questions as you want about this, but I have started a experiment on YouTube and it relates to AI. So this should
Exactly.
get your tail wagging. The experiment is AI is going to be making every single decision for me about not just scheduling, but uploading, type of content, title of videos, description, all that sort of stuff is going to be chosen by AI. And if AI can't directly spit out an answer for me, then I will say, AI, where can I find this information? And then it will show me, and I will read articles and things like that. Every single decision. Uh, what was I going to say? I'm going to carry it over the course of a month, and I am going to see how I go. But I'm 10 hours into day one, and I've posted. I should have also prefaced YouTube have one of their video types called shorts. Have you heard of this? Yep.
Yeah,
So this
it
was,
was not successful.
well, it's their pushed product because YouTube are trying to compete with TikTok and they're putting the most resources in. And so it's a shorts channel and even the clips are generated by AI. So we mentioned it a very, very long time ago on an earlier episode, but the clips from this that I create are using a program called Opus, and I'm using Opus to create clips from podcasts. The podcasts were decided by AI about what was popular and the type of video and all that sort of stuff. And so I'm doing 2 a week for this first week. Sorry, 2 per day each week. Um, and one of them has 2 views. The other has 2,700 within 10 hours. And I'm
Wow,
just
great.
shaking my head because none of our podcasts have that many views. um, if I combine all the views on the joe.com channel, I don't think it's 2,700 either. And the really crazy part about it is I'm only spending 1 hour per day on this, kind of to showcase that really anyone can do it.
And do you record all the stuff you do?
I am. So I am recording and documenting. I have a spreadsheet which includes expenses. If there's an activity, it's being written down in terms of time logged. Each video is also being entered in the spreadsheet. Views in 24 hours, views in a week. I'll see how they go. Because there's 4 different podcasts that it is taking from, I am not like, I'm seeing like whether certain podcasts are more successful in clips, what types of clips, if I should do clips from that week's podcast, or if I should do clips from famous podcast moments. So all of this is being conducted within the experiment, and we'll see. One of 2 things is either going to happen. I think if I get 1 million views within a month, I'll be very surprised, but very happy. But what if in 60 times 2,000, so whatever that ends up being, 120,000. So if I keep this up, I'll get over 100,000.
But what happens if we get, for example, Denzel Washington into our podcast, by Denzel Washington, Brad Pitt together in our podcast?
Yep.
And basically created by AI only for like 10 seconds, you know, it's like, you know, to have a teaser. And then, you know, when we only push those 10-second teaser from the fake Denzel Washington speaking in German with his, it would be so funny, because the first big thing is what I assume in our industry is the big change will be the dubbing or the translation.
Yes, absolutely.
In Germany, we have a huge industry of dubbing. I think the biggest in the world, because we are dubbing everything, you know? And this is always, the funny thing is when American Hollywood actors are coming to shows in Germany, then they promote, of course, their new film, and then they listen to their German voice, which is a complete different voice. Because, you know, it's a different person. So speaking German, but the German language, when we translate it, it's quite good or very professional, because what we don't have is like for example, a Japanese or Chinese film always at the end goes.
Yes, totally. Even in English too. Yeah.
Exactly. In English and German, if you translate something Asian, it's always.
Yep, there's a
like
bit of
that.
extra.
Yeah.
For the audio listeners, Jan is like he's stopping talking and then he's still mouthing stuff. So you probably have seen that in like Squid Game and things like that.
Absolutely. And for us Germans, it's easier in English when we are dubbing a English film into German voices, it's easier to stop on the same spot. With them. But what will happen with artificial intelligence is that Denzel Washington will speak in English, and the artificial intelligence will turn it into the German words within his voice. So it would be really, so we don't need translators anymore. We don't need the German voices anymore. We just take the American original voice and put them into German, France, or Hindu. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, it is very interesting. So have you heard of Mr. Beast?
Yes.
Yep, good. I was going to say, if you haven't heard of him, I think you need to do your homework, because anyone who works in media should be aware of who this guy is. His YouTube channel, every single upload comes with 14 languages, and he pays, you know, proper recording studios. The woman who voiced Naruto in Japan voices Mr. Beast for Japanese, which is kind of crazy, but YouTube has that as a feature now. So you can actually upload an audio track which is in a different language, which is really cool. And if you can afford it, you can do that. But there's also, as an alternative, not but, and, I'm trying not to say but anymore. I'm trying to say and, because but is like dismissive of what you previously say or what someone else says. And you can use an AI to translate a video into different languages. And I'm not sure how extensive this is as a feature. For example, I don't know if I can click on this podcast and it will just do 14 languages. Maybe I have to pay for it. Maybe it's just one. Who knows? And currently, it is a very sort of robotic type of voice type thing. So for more, if let's say the video is somebody walking through a Spanish winery talking about the wine, and there's excitement in their voice and whatnot, it may not get captured in the translation, but in terms of the video itself, you can have it in English, and information-based content like that, that's a bit more documentary style, will be the first types of videos that succeed and do really well from this new pilot program. The only problem is, like I mentioned, it doesn't necessarily capture tone or emotion or anything like that. So let's say on this same hypothetical Spanish winery tour, we go and we have this brand new sparkling rosé, and it's so fantastic. And we've removed not toxins, you know what I mean, other chemicals and stuff like that to develop this wine. And it's a really exciting crescendo in the video. AI doesn't know that in the story, and therefore can't emphasize in the AI translation. So that will get better over time. And it's also going to become like, this is emblematic of 2023 when AI was like this, because in 2024, AI is going to be like this, 25, 6, and so on, on. So it's the beginning of a really cool new age. And when we have AI Denzel Washington and Brad Pitt, that would be the best, hey?
It would be so funny, because right now over here in Germany, we have this discussion because Angela Merkel, our chancellor for 16 years, there was a picture of her in a bathing suit in the sea, and then Donald Trump is like in prison with his orange prison
jumpsuit
gear or whatever. Yeah, and stuff like that, and it's like really, really, it looks real, for normal people and people who don't think, because in Germany, no one wants to see Angela Merkel in a bathing suit, to be honest, it's like nothing you want to really see, and then it's out there, and it looks real, completely real, but it's all artificial. So and this is the discussion, how can we work like that, with celebrities, making them completely fake. And then it came out that the ChatGPT people kind of stole private data. And this is in Germany. I mean, in Germany, we have or in Europe, we have a very, very strong data control law, whatever it's called in English. It's way too strong, I think, because we are limiting ourselves to a lot of problems, which is stupidity in working and in normal life, and this is a very big discussion, I think, right now. Whether
I think, given how interested we are in AI, at least I am, I should research more into data privacy and protection and what the laws are like in Australia, and maybe that's our homework between podcasts. But it is very interesting, and it is. The really big thing is, as well, there's no lawsuits that have resolved relating to AI-generated content and stuff like that. And so there's going to be consequences from that and potential legislation in the USA, in Germany, in Australia, that are really going to impact how it's used. And we're kind of in the Wild West at the moment, when we see, you talk about that and no one wants to see Angela Merkel in a bathing suit. Some people want to see Donald Trump in an orange jumpsuit. But when people talk about using these AI, there's also the voices and that you can do. And the presidents are a really easy one to train, because there's a chance that they did public speaking every day in their seat as president, and then also in campaigns leading up to their presidency. There's heaps of public recordings of their voice, which can be used to train the AI. And the same thing with musicians. Like there's a Kanye one where they were getting Kanye West to sing all these songs like "Hey There, Delilah," and it's kind of uncanny in a really weird way. But the one thing, it's like people are like, this is dangerous, and we're going to have people scamming the president, saying terrible things. But all I've really seen of it is presidents playing Call of Duty on Discord, and all the memes about the presidents that already exist are just being applied to these recordings. So Donald Trump acts like a bit of a bully and picks on Joe Biden and calls him old. Joe Biden acts a bit dopey and, doesn't always know what's going on. Then Barack Obama comes in as, a reasonable type of guy. George W. says something, I don't know, whack. I don't know like the exact characters, but it's goofy. It's not serious. It's like...
It is, but the thing is, right now everybody jumps on celebrities or well-known people.
Yes.
But the big problem is if you and me, some AR technology takes all our private information and makes a picture of us within those private information for a third party.
Yep.
This will be real. Because they know maybe my nickname, they know maybe my tattoos on my left butt side, whatever. And, if these information get out and you see something there, yes, Jan, you made a picture of your butt and I know your tattoo over there. And so this is very difficult, and this is what laws and stuff has to be managed. But like you said, it's a Wild West right now. And I think it is... It is like finding out, basically the laws about how much can you drink and still drive, And so right now when they put out the cars, there was no law, you cannot drink and drive,
Yeah.
And then the accidents occurred and then they saw, okay, out of those 100 accidents last week, there were 90% people drunk. Because, stuff like that. And so maybe we should make a law about it. This is what's happening, I think, right now, because the industry and the market put those technologies out there. Let's play it and let's see where. In Germany, we say Pendel. Do you know the game where you have a bar and you have like a couple balls hanging and you put one? Right now we go all the way out, boom, and let it go, and then the other one gets hit all the way
Newton's
out.
cradle, that's what it's called. I was trying to think, what's the name of this? Newton's
and
cradle?
I didn't get it.
So Newton, as in Isaac Newton, and then cradle.
Cradle.
Yeah.
Okay. Newton cradle. Okay. Thanks.
Like
I learned.
Newton owns the cradle. Newton's cradle. Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is happening right now, and I think people like you, especially, doing this for a month now, this kind of example and recording it will definitely, if we are smart, this other people see that, and maybe they will pick up on that too, and maybe we can do some connection work, whatever, sharing experience, and then these things grow. Because what we have right now is two white guys sitting completely apart on our earth, one in Europe, one in Australia, and having two different cultures talking about the same technology, and doing some experiments about it,
Yeah.
And what shall happen if we get, we put the how's the dance of the rugby haka? No,
the haka, yeah.
The haka,
yep.
Okay, let's do the haka and on our German parliament. If this is something when we get because all the people are out there speaking, talking, having pictures, and let's find only maybe our ministers doing the haka, because what we've learned, what you've seen at the mill when we worked together, the mill did last year, I think, or 2 years ago, the commercial with Albert Einstein, when, it was the super deep fake, because Albert Einstein was doing crazy things.
It was sort of like twitching. They like around the temples, they couldn't get it right because the facial shape was different and all these different
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
but still, it was a deep fake with Albert Einstein giving examples, expressions, and everything, you know. And Albert Einstein, he was like 100 years ago, and
Yeah.
you know there were not so many pictures from them, you know. So everything.
No, the only one
talking
people
ab-
know is like.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is the only picture everybody knows, you know. And so, but still, they managed for a commercial, you know, to put this Albert Einstein in real life. So everything what we have now since the 90s, you know, with all the camera stuff, we have to train the machines and then they will do the deep fake much, much easier.
Yeah. You know how on crime shows like NCIS, when the hacker is looking on the computer and the sergeant goes, enhance, zoom in, enhance.
Yeah, yeah.
It's bullshit. If you know anything about anything, it's bullshit and there's no way it's possible. In all of the examples, we might get to a point where we can do that, which is kind of interesting. Two things actually I really wanted to say about my little AI experiment. And I'm putting this out there on the internet so it isn't a surprise. But on every single clip I upload, there is a link to this YouTube channel. And as part of the description, I say, this is part of an experiment conducted by me. I'll release a documentary video on it eventually. So I am transparent to the audience that this is part of an experiment. And in 10 hours and 2 uploads, no one's picked up on it. In a month, who knows? Maybe we'll see. And secondly, and this is where we're going to get into an ethical debate, okay? Let's say I keep posting clips, they get popular, and I do like really famous moments and whatnot. What if I include in the upload schedule clips of us?
Doing what?
Oh, our podcast. Like, sorry, because it's clips from podcasts that I'm uploading of other people's popular podcasts of
Yes.
comedians. What if over time I start splicing in clips from our podcast and it's part of the thing? Do you think that's ethically wrong, or do you think?
No, I mean the thing is, well, with our stuff is. Do you think you will? We have rights problem because you're taking a well-known podcast and you are editing us in, right?
Don't say we. It's just I. It's just Joe. So you're not included.
Okay.
I haven't put your name in any of this and stuff like that.
Okay, no problem.
And I didn't okay this through you. So this is all on my shoulders. In terms of copyright, I am re-uploading clips from other people's videos and things like that. Yes.
Okay, and do you do anything to them, or do you just take them as they are and do them into and you put yourself between it?
I don't put myself in any of it. My face or my channel or anything like that is not mentioned in any of the videos. Within the channel somewhere, not too hidden, there is a note where I say this is an experiment done by me. All clips are owned by the appropriate owners. And yeah, it's through fair use as well. And so in terms of copyright, I'm not grabbing their stuff, then adding to it in any sort of way. It's just clips. I put it into Opus. I get the clips. I review them, see whether they're good, download. I go to upload. I ask ChatGPT for a title. I ask ChatGPT for a description. I plug those in, and then I upload it. And that's kind of it.
Yeah, I mean you're violating rights anyways. You know,
Yes.
even if you're just doing nothing to it, it's like, you know, think about like the musicians, the hip hop guys.
Yeah.
You know, the beat maker, the music producer. They are always stealing samples from jazz, for example, or classic.
Yeah.
And then they do something with them. So they say, yeah, okay, it's like only 3 second samples I'm taking, and I'm doing something, and I'm changing it, and then no one really sees what I did or where I stole it from, you know?
The two things I should mention is, one, it is re-uploading other people's content anonymously,
Yeah.
almost anonymously. Two, many faceless shorts channels exist with getting some clips hundreds of thousands, some getting multiple of millions of views. And part of the experiment is the fact that some people may be doing this full time and editing the clips. I'm only allocating 1 hour of time per day within the month to do this. And that's really not much time. And the fact that I'm able to get 2 clips uploaded daily because of it is remarkable. And it kind of shows that anyone can do this and anyone could. I'm just someone who had an idea. And it's not even that original of an idea, given that other people have done it and are getting varying degrees of success. Would it be more comfortable to you, Jan, that if I make any money from this YouTube channel, we donate it somewhere?
This is always a possibility. And this was my next thing is in media, you know, you have to think about it. Or put it this way, if I make money with the rights of people I don't own,
Yep.
you know, it is stealing, you know.
Totally.
Now the question is, and the examples for lawyers, you know, they will say now, okay, that's not really, you can compare, you know. But if you have an apple tree and the apples, you know, and here's the border, here's your house and here's my house, you know, and the apples are coming on my side and I take them. Even they are on my side because this is the fence here, you know. They don't belong to me, you know. But you know, and I can take them all and make them really shiny, you know, and put them out there, and then I make the money. Then you will say, listen, guy, you make money out of my fucking apples, you know. And then I can always say, yeah, right, I give you a little bit. But if we don't have, you know, if we don't sell anything, we don't earn anything like in money, but we will earn in being, for example, well known because the whole world sees your clips. Then it's a different problem, because basically it's like, you know, you stole them, but you made them really shiny, and you say, listen how shiny they are, and nothing else, but you cannot buy. The problem then is, and it's another bad example I know, but right now there's a huge discussion in Italy because a 17-year young girl went to court because a 66-year-old man grabbed her in the pussy or on the ass. He was with his hand in her underwear.
You could have just said assaulted her and I would have figured out,
No, I can't, because it's okay when you do this in Italy, less than 10 seconds.
What? Really?
Yes. And that's like crazy. So in Italy, there's now a discussion that a 66-year-old grabbed a 17 by her ass or her pussy, I don't know, even the tits, I don't care, you know, for 10 seconds, that's okay. So when we upload you, you know, I know you can't compare that really to your clips being uploaded, but it's always the thing what your intention is, you know. And our intention is not insulting little girls, you know. Our intention is to test how artificial intelligence is working and finding it out. So what I say is, we shall even do more bad things right now, because, and this is the thing again with our Newton thing.
Newton's cradle, yep.
Thank you. Let's be really crazy. Let's go. If we start here, if this is correct, we go all the way up there.
Yeah.
And then we come with huge power in this direction. Because no one says right now, you cannot do that. We're trying this out.
Yeah.
You know?
goodness. Something just blew out. Maybe
Oh, okay.
okay. Anyway, but no, you're totally right that I do need to be cautious in the fact that I could be generating revenue from re-uploading other people's content, and the goal isn't to make money by any means.
Yeah.
This is a showcase. I want to make that very clear. If it makes money to begin with, there's no guarantee that that's going to happen either. But if it does, what I need to cross-reference with you and maybe other people to get a good moral boundary is, where should this go? Should I reach out to the original creators and say, hey, I've made this much money from promoting your content. Would you like this money for yourselves, to a charity, to what? But I am, and you've inspired me to do this, for each video that makes money, I'm going to put down how much money it's made at the end of the experiment, and then basically say, here's all the data to, I'm not going to say which people, just because I want to keep the channel anonymous and see how well it can go, but I'll reach out, and there will be a big video thing that I make at the end of this that's like 15, 20 minutes where I sort of break down everything that happened and stuff like that and whatnot. But there are people out there that are making money from this, and you can go on to, it's called Social Blade, and if you find one of these clips channels, you just copy the link, put it into Social Blade, and it will tell you roughly how much money they're making. And it could vary between $200 to $2,000 like a month, which, you know, and US. So 2,000 US is still quite a bit for just 30 hours of work. That's shit tons.
Yeah,
actually.
exactly.
That's how much a divorce lawyer makes. Like,
and the thing is that being transparent, I think that's a very good way, you know, to be transparent at the first place. We can always say, because it's like when you try to contact now everybody, you know, and I mean, if we talk about a handful of people you have to contact, you can do that.
yeah.
This is that, but then we say in German, you wake up sleeping dogs.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Sleeping dogs don't lie. Yeah.
So what you can do is you can either at the beginning or at the end have a little disclaimer saying, listen, guys, I'm super transparent. I don't want to get rich out of your stuff. You know, money wise, I don't care. It's my experience, blah, 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 everything. And here is my way. You can contact me,
Yep.
you know, because if you take stuff from Mr. Jan Scholz, and then Mr. Jan Scholz, there's like two ways. Either Mr. Jan Scholz finds this out by himself, or, but he's so popular, he doesn't do this probably, but he has people who are saying, hey, Mr. Jan Scholz, someone in Australia is using your face, is you using your stuff, doing something. We have to stop this. And then they say, okay, what's happening? And then they have everything, you know? It's not that they have to start, okay, let's do something, versus, you know, I saying let's do something against Joe, and what we have to find out everything. They don't have to do this because they see this at the very first stage, because you're transparent. You show everything what you do,
Yep.
you know, and what your results are. So they say, okay, let's fight against Joe for you, Jan. And then Jan always can say, yeah, but this guy made $20 in 2 months with this. And you know, you can write him something to stop it, because this is the first thing. Because every lawyer, or every judge, put it this way,
Yep.
every judge, we go, and this will be Australian law, and you know your
That's
judge
true.
better than mine.
Yeah. If they
You know,
sue me
so
for defamation in Australia, I'm
and
fucked.
then you can always say, listen, guys, you know, what's the problem? You know, I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be famous. It's an art. It's an experiment. I am a media person. You know, it is kind of science. It's not like
Yeah.
physics or anything, but it's our media science, what we do in technology.
Totally.
We have to find that out. You're a young shot. You know, you are 20 something and you just want to find out. Every judge in Germany will just say, then go ahead. They don't know what you do. They have no clue, you know? And then they have to judge something, and then they say, yeah, okay, there's a guy who says, I'm running over red streetlights, and but he's doing this with a helmet and with airbags on his side, and then he has two people standing on the side and say, watching, this, you do everything to not to be bad,
Yeah, yeah.
Your intention is good, and that's the thing.
And I'm glad that we could talk about it, because there's a lot going on with it, and because it is a bit of an ethical and moral discussion and legal ramifications, and then there's potential revenue and stuff like that, it's good to sort of talk about it, because this is what a mentor is really good for, guys. Find a mentor so you can, if you have an idea or you're, in one case, risking yourself, it's good to sort of get this off. And I'm glad we had this conversation. And I think it's a very good spot at the start of this experiment to have. And we'll touch on it. Maybe at the end of the experiment, we'll have a longer conversation like this about it and how it went on the podcast and a video. But we'll put in little updates about how we go. How I go. I shouldn't say we. This is all on me. This is Joe's shoulders. Jan's just talking to me about it. It's Joe's responsibility. Joe's responsible. Okay.
my two lawyers, they are sitting here next to me out of
shaking
frame,
their heads. They're just like it. It's like with Marvel actors, how they've got like a producer behind the camera just going the whole time, like it.
But put it this way. I mean, I don't know how much people you are talking to about, put it this way. If we are talking, like I said, about 5 people, for you, then I have to say, as a judge, it's easy for you to contact at least the management address of those people.
Yeah.
Someone. And then you send over a random email to them. Let's see what happens.
Should I send an email to the 4 podcast studios or at the end?
No. First, not at the end. Okay. First of all, you have to show something what you're doing wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then you send it to them, and then you say it's up there out in the world. First thing, they don't even get back to you.
Yep.
Second thing, they will say, "Listen, guy, it's not so cool, but we don't care." Third opportunity is you get an instant reply within 24 hours saying, "Listen, I'm the lawyer of Mr. Super Duper," and you. I put all my 3 fingers, because if I do this, it looks like
Yeah.
And then you will get an instant reaction of them.
Yeah.
Instant, and this reaction will sound the following: delete immediately all files from my person I am representing. Bottom line. And then you can reply, "Okay, thanks, I will do so." And this will be recorded and put out there again.
Yep.
Because what you have to be the fucking fork on other people's ass. Okay. Because you have to be, it's in your origin. You have to push forward now. You have to do something wrong in order to do everything right afterwards, because we are looking now how humans and technology become better together. These are the first steps. In 5 years, we have chips
implants. Yeah.
And then we have, because it's a logical step, because our normal chips grow every 18 months, and this will come, this is the exponential in Germany, we
exponential,
say.
Yep.
Yeah, and the 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 16, 16 35, and this will go bam 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 bam, forever, until the point where we say, now we can put our biological stuff, our skin, our cells together with a chip.
Yeah, if there was a pilot program for that type of thing, and they said, "Jan, would you like to take place?" Would you do it?
I'm not the first mover, It's much smarter to be the first follower. I'm the first follower.
Yeah.
But I'm a person, I think about those things, and I don't know. I don't know if I mean, I'm not afraid, but I think maybe some other, I like more to watch. I'm a media guy. I
Yeah.
have the
Okay.
ideas, and then I let other people do this.
Totally. Going back quickly to the revenue conversation, given that there are other channels doing this and genuinely making a year wage for potentially doing the same system I do, should I expose that as an industry type thing, being like there actually are people making lots of money from this? Or should I just sort of be like, if I make money, this is how much I've made? Not even say this is how much I've made. This is tricky. Damn.
Yeah, but what's your intention about this?
I think because if we decide between us that morally legally making money off reposting other people's podcast highlights is copyright and you're stealing and stuff like that. Some people are actually making enough revenue to pay their rent and stuff like that, and potentially more and whatnot. And because it's identityless, it's really difficult. Now, there's also a good chance that these podcast studios can say, hey, these clips are giving us exposure, keep them up. Great.
Yeah.
That would be the other thing. So if we think between us that it's wrong to make money from this idea that I've got and pocket it and then use it, then we should probably say, I'm not the only one who's done this. There's actually... But I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Do you get what I'm coming at now? Yeah.
Yes. I wouldn't do so because my example is there is a street blog called High Snobiety or High Snobity. I always keep forgetting how to pronounce that. It's a German guy, and his operation started 10 years ago, I think, and he was doing this as a blog. It's a fashion blog for street life, work, blah, 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 work. And then I forgot the name, but some US rapper, I don't know, Kanye West or some other people, took his notes. The guy was writing on his blog, and some other people said, listen, this is really cool, and I got that from this blog. Boom, all of the way. Now the guy has an international operation. He has offices all over the world. We're talking about more than 100 people. He sold the whole operation to Zalando in Germany, and he's a multi-millionaire now. And I guess his grandchildren don't even have to work anymore. Damn. So I think, and the guy is not even 40 yet, I think. So
not even 40 and having grandchildren that don't need to work. That's impressive.
Yes, exactly. No, but the thing is that he wrote something, and some other people basically got all his information, and he said that was the lucky shot I ever got. And that's why I say always, before you produce and before you start a project, you have to have the idea, and the idea has to be really clear and easy. It's like 1 or maximum 3 sentences of what you want to do, of what you want to achieve, what is going on, and with those small sentences, going out there and saying everything. That's basically what you say, and that's your being honest.
Yeah.
And then people can always say no or yes. Okay, and I bet you will get a lot of positive information.
Okay. That's good to...
because what there can't be anything happen, because Joe is doing this by himself, and what they want to take away, your Bose system, your microphone.
The 2 speakers that are right here, like, what are they going to do? My Toomey bag and my Tom Ford Sunnies.
Exactly, you know, don't get me wrong, but you cannot grab a naked man into their pockets, you know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that's that's an interesting
and
quote.
and they know this, you know, and even nowadays you can put this out, you know, if you get a lawyer who says, Mr. Archard, you know, you owe me now 5 million, you put this out there,
Yeah,
and you will get your community will say, what's going on, you know. This is always what these people have to consider. And you know, it's like, you know, you don't steal the horse, you might, you know, lend the horse to ride on it, and you bring it back, but you know, it's still looking good, you know. You don't mess with the horse you're riding on, you know, of these people, you know. So let's see what's going on, and let's push them, you know. Be the, like I said, fork in the fucking ass of the other people, because then, you know, the pain will come, and you know, you can deal with the pain,
I'm also
you
gonna,
know.
once this is done, send an email to local news and radio and be like, by the way, this is what I did completely using AI. Um, I'm willing to talk about it and
I
promote
would
this in the process.
I would start doing this now, to be honest.
You reckon?
Because, yes, because first of all, you need to have a casting of all the media. Because, you know,
Okay.
some people are taking your stuff and then they put it into their idea, whatever, or they're writing negative about it. Or maybe you find someone who says, listen, Joe, this is what I was really looking for. And these are my ideas I had. And then he's presenting 5 ideas to you where 2 ideas you never had,
Yeah.
and this might help you too. Plus, you give the press the opportunity to start at the point zero
Yeah. With the
and
seed.
go
Yeah.
with you, you know, go
Watch the
with
flower
you, and
grow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, watch the flower grow, and then give them, you know, the opportunity to start at day 2 or 3, come back on day 10, then again on on 22, and then on the last day something. And this will, you know, you take their, it's basically a full funnel thing what you need to do. You know, awareness, conversion, and all these things, you know, to get out. Because imagine you have a press in Australia writing about your stuff halfway through, and then, you know, you will see how the audience will pick up.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. But it'd be interesting to think that. But so people are reminded as well. I am doing this on my own computer that I built custom, and there's 2 monitors and stuff like that, and I've got all this podcast recording equipment and great keyboards. So there's thousands of dollars that have gone into this, but you don't need it. You can do it on your school laptop, which is the
Yeah.
craziest part of it. In fact, I want someone to do this on their iPhone, entirely on their phone. Just do it, or the smallest piece of technology imaginable can be done on it. And the fact that there is something that I'll mention to you privately off air. You can actually choose, because this is something that will get revealed in the end. You can do what I've done. I'll just say it later, but there's a caveat to it that I've done, which which has aided in my process, but it doesn't break any of the rules that I've set for myself. But I'll save it for the audience until the end. So that's something to look forward to, everyone.
I mean, you know what? You can, maybe there's an idea to say halfway through, guys, follower, community, people, even we talking about 5 people watching that shit. Um, Maybe let's start the mobile version, you know, halfway through or at the end, you know, or tease it up at the beginning, and maybe you find someone who's saying, I was waiting for that, you know, let's work together, and I'm doing the mobile stuff, you know. Maybe this happens, I don't know. But you can plant the seed either at the beginning or halfway through, and you see your success, and then you announce it for the last one, you know, for the second half. Or you keep this, you see the success, and you want to build up the mobile version afterwards, basically, you know.
Yeah, I think that's afterwards. I definitely feel like, in terms of the experiment, I'll just document the whole month, and then at the end of the month, then do the big reveal or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But that's it is interesting, and there's lots of variations to it and variables that you can apply. But I would also argue that you don't even need much knowledge to be able to do this. And the fact that I've let AI decide the podcast clips I'm re-uploading, you can just get your favorite podcasts and do it, and that saves time in research, for example. So there's lots of things that in part of the documenting and part of the interesting process, I'm like, this can change, that can change. I don't need AI to decide the name of the channel. I don't need AI to decide what the icon's going to look like on the page or what the banner's going to look like. Or because it adds like 10 seconds, I'm letting AI decide the title of all the videos too, which is this. It's such a silly like thing, but the fact that AI has taken as much control as it can without breaking any APIs. AI is telling me what to do, and I am the voyeur of this experiment is so interesting. And the fact that I've already gotten 2,700 views in 4,800 impressions, that's really cool as well. So
Definitely. And
yeah,
don't forget, you are teaching the AI. And that's something very important, because this is what you can do on the test 2.0. You know, if you use the same one, how the results will be different. You know, and this would be really funny if you are capable of thinking something to have an experiment inside the experiment, and this experiment you can always basically it's a closed circle, and this one you can do every single other steps, you know, to implement. You know, for example, either it's a little 3 questions,
yep,
which are always the same, but the AR is answering maybe later. The older it gets, the more information or smarter the software gets, the difference should be the answer then.
yeah.
You know, and this could be something really nice when I think about it as a viewer, would be really nice, because this idea comes from long-term documentaries. And I mean long-term documentaries in Germany, we have this, for example, since the 70s.
Oh
How,
yeah,
you know, you come into a family, blah, and you're for the next 30, 40 years, we're talking about, you know. And that's long term, and this could be something where, and you know, this is what the people are interesting to see, people grow, to see how the things change, and even if they are the same, you know, because humans stay the same but they are different, you know. And this could be something really nice for to have always like 3 or 5 questions for the AI, how they learned themselves or how they got better, I don't know.
yeah. Wow, lot to think about. I'm going to note a lot of
Yeah.
this stuff down. I'm going to have to re-listen to this and then note down what we talked about. So my big
Absolutely.
my final showcase ends
And
up being better. Sorry.
yes, and you can put this out there too, like
Oh,
it
totally.
is.
This is like part of why I wanted to talk about it, because having it out there at the start, and then because if this trend stays up, it's well, I've uploaded 2 videos. One of them only got 2 views, and I think I know why it only got 2 views. So we'll just say 1,000 per thing. If I upload 60 videos in a month, 60,000 in the first month of having a YouTube channel is not bad, all things considered. And there's not necessarily, I did think, should I stop at 1 million views or this many subscribers? But I think it's better off to see the month. And I decided that before coming on the call. So, yeah.
Go in the month. I would do so, because you need, in order to have an experiment, you need to have fixed facts.
Yep.
30 days, 60 clips, you know. This, it should be this, each clip
1
should
hour
have
a day.
1 hour a day, but each clip should have the same length, you know.
Yes.
So You
That's
cannot,
actually part of the variables. I'm actually going to see if 30-second clips do better than 60-second clips.
if you do so, okay, then we have 30, 60, 90 seconds, whatever, you have this, but you need to have this, the same one,
Yep.
because otherwise you cannot compare them really, I think. So it's always just the content, what the AR is doing, and that's the interesting thing. So otherwise you have two different rules, and then people will then say easily, well, it's like kind of not really understandable.
Yep. Damn. Oh, I need a coffee and a cigarette. I'm stressed.
Yeah.
There's so much going on in my head right now. We've been going for an hour. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
That's the other
Yes,
thing.
definitely. It's good to be back. I have seen you now, and I have a little homework. I hope I can try this. I have to go to the post office, but this is something I will reveal. You will reveal later on.
Okay. I'll stop the recording and then we'll talk about two things just quickly while still on the call. But thank you everyone for listening and watching, and we'll see you next week.
Ciao, ciao.